So you're thinking about buying a home, maybe for the first time, and you're afraid of making a big mistake, one that costs you a lot of money or makes you a miserable homeowner. Don't worry. In today's video, I'm going to share with you the 5 most common home buying mistakes that I see as a real estate agent. First thing, don't buy a house with mixed flooring. Or put differently, don't buy a cheaply flipped home. If the seller didn't have a strategy for their updates and they did everything hodgepodge, they probably left out a lot of other things too. In the North Texas real estate market, there's a very healthy home flipping industry, and there are a lot of professionals who put out a quality product. The thing you need to worry about though is the one who just made the house look good enough so they can make a quick buck. And the thing to ask yourself when you're buying a flipped home is, what didn't they do? Did they make the inside look beautiful, but they maybe skipped over the guts of the house, like the AC or the plumbing? And could these be in dire need of an upgrade or repair? And that brings me to mistake number 2, big inspection issues. And now any inspection issue on its own can be resolved through the course of the transaction. My concern is when the seller refuses to acknowledge or accept the big issues. And what's a big issue? I would say in North Texas, there are probably 5 big things to consider. You have plumbing, electrical, HVAC, that's your heating and cooling, and then you have roof and foundation. Now, in Texas, we tend to give the most attention to the roof and the foundation, and it's true, those are common problems, but any of these 5 can be very costly or cause issues for you down the road. And I think it goes without saying, this is why you need to hire a top-notch home inspector. Another mistake I see buyers making is they choose the wrong neighborhood. And what I mean by that is they really often overweight the house and underweight the neighborhood in the search. The reality is you can change the house. You can customize it. You can even tear it down and rebuild it. You're locked in on the neighborhood. You can't change that. And I see some people going way far out in the suburbs, away from the amenities and lifestyle things they like, to buy their dream house, only to end up with the hour-long commute from hell. So pay attention to the neighborhood and factor it appropriately into your search. So once you figure out the neighborhood or the area you want to be in, now it's time to find the house. And a mistake I see people make when it comes to the house is they want to take on a project house, the kind of house where they want to change everything. Probably not the right house for you if you want to change everything. People will say, I want to move this wall, I want to totally remodel the kitchen, I want to add a bedroom. When you start to change everything, it means to me you're stretching too far to make this house work. Now, a caveat would be there are some buyers who have huge budgets and they can even tear down the house and rebuild it because the site and location is very important to them. But for the everyday mainstream buyer, be careful about taking on a house that is too much work, especially when your plan is to do it all yourself. So the other kind of stretching people might do, not pretending to stretch to make the house work, but stretching their budget too far. And this is a mistake many buyers make, particularly first-time home buyers. We love our lenders, but they will pre-approve you for the most you're allowed to borrow, not necessarily the optimum amount to borrow. And if you're finding you have to do a lot of financial jiggering to make the purchase work, it might be smart to reassess. The reality is homeownership is an investment. It's good for your personal wealth, but owning a home does cost money. And I don't want to see people have too much of their monthly budget eaten up with housing that they can't enjoy that time with their family in their home. And the flip side is people may eat up all of their cash reserves just to get into that home they want, only to later find themselves struggling if there are maintenance problems or projects they want to take on. So take a look at your budget holistically when you're buying a house. So those are 5 mistakes to keep in mind along your home buying journey. Don't let this dissuade you from home ownership. There's a lot of benefits to home ownership, both financial and non-financial. I think the takeaway I want you to get is to be thoughtful about your home buying process and about the home you ultimately purchase. If you want more advice for buying a home in North Texas, make sure to subscribe to our channel. We'll see you in the next video.